Yo, welcome back to another trade recap, guys. I hope you guys had a good trading day today. I had some interesting things happen to me today. You can go and look in the recap on Instagram, TikTok. I explain everything in there, but I'm going to explain it here as well. So, I'm going to make this short. I might as well just do a replay again for you guys so it kind of helps you out. So, let's go and do that. So, basically, coming into the day, if you look here, let me get rid of this thing there. This wick here at 2 a.m. came down and wicked this 10 a.m. low here, right? So if you look here, 2 a.m. did not wick that. So we had a bullish SMT there. And then if we go down one more time frame, this is the wick here, right? You'll notice we have an hourly fair value gap here, and we also have a 30-minute fair value gap. So what happens here? So obviously the 1 hour time frame shows that we took that. So let me just go back to the 1 minute so I can explain. So we have the 1 hour fair value gap and then the 30-minute fair value gap. And basically all I wanted to see was higher prices for the day. Wanted London highs, all the good stuff. So if we take a look right here, this is the 8:30. This is the news that we had. We actually manipulated lower into a deeper discount of this range. If we go ahead and mark the low to this high of a range, you'll notice that this move initially tapped equilibrium and then started to go up a little bit, but we still hesitated within this mitigation here. And then once we did get that final manipulation towards down to this low and into a deeper discount, and also I believe we had an SMT with this low here. Yes, we did. See, the 8:30 did not take that low on ES. So after you have that manipulation, I'm pretty much long for the day, although there is room towards the downside, of course, but I initially wanted to see these draws and, I wanted to see previous day high get hit and the midnight open and London highs. So if we go ahead and hop onto the replay, this time right now is about 9:28. So boom, boom. Here's the opening candle right here, and then you'll notice that we actually come down and tap this fair value gap here on the 1 minute, and that sends us towards the hourly high right there. Obviously no setup yet. So we hit the hourly high, and we actually fail to sweep out the 30-minute gap high. And if you look on ES right over here, the same exact high was actually swept out. Or sorry, it wasn't swept out. It was swept out by the next candle, my bad. But this candle at 9:30 right here never took out this high here. So we had a bearish SMT there, failed to take that high here, failure swing. So we had an SMT and a failure swing there, and we were also inside of the 1 hour, right? But there still was liquidity resting in that 30-minute gap, right? So come back down to the 1 minute. Here's what I'm looking at now. At this point, there is room to short because we have equal lows. I don't think actually, hold on. Okay, yeah, we had a nice set of equal lows down there. So we had the equal lows, and we had the data lows down here as well with the new week opening gap down here too. So there was a 1 minute gap here that I actually didn't notice on NQ because I was looking at the MNQ chart, and that actually did work. I would have taken that if I saw that there was a gap there, but there was no gap on MNQ. So unfortunate, whatever. But we end up inversing that gap about right there. So that pullback, or whatever, I probably would have waited for a pullback into it, just because we had such a nice displacing candle through that. So you get the pullback, stop can go at the high, stop can go, the fair value gap would be really tight in this case, right, on NQ. So it would be safe to put the stop above here or above here, and that ended up playing out towards the data lows all the way down to previous day equilibrium and the NWAG. So now, once we did have that, we actually formed another bullish SMT with the 10 a.m. low. You'll notice 10 a.m. low was never taken. 6 a.m., right? Nice SMT here reacting off previous day equilibrium. Both ES and NQ reacting off the NWAG. Everything looks perfect to me right now. Exactly what I want to see. SMT inside of a high time frame, right? Liquidity taken. Now all I was waiting for was just some confirmation. So we initially just run up, right? No reason to long this because you're going to get pulled back on, right? What happens, gets pulled back on, right? And at this point, we did leave behind a 1 minute gap, and we left behind a 2 minute gap as well. So if you look at the 2 minute gap, right, we kind of hover around, and we finally close through it here. So I don't know why I didn't take this. I guess I just wasn't really paying attention too much, but this would have been a great long up towards what I wanted to see. Obviously this internal high, and then up towards here. So, or this could be external depending on how you're looking at it and what time frame perspective, whatever. But we end up inversing this 2 minute here, right? But in my eyes, my eyes were looking at this as well, and I kind of wanted to see this get inversed as well. So once that got inversed, I wasn't logged in on my apexes, and it wouldn't let me log in. It had like that stupid error or whatever. Super fucking annoying, but I'm kind of glad that happened, because this candle here, if I go back down to the 1 minute, this is where I took my top step executions at. So we got this 5 minute, we tapped it. I never entered on the tap. So I waited a little bit, and my fill was about, I think like around here, somewhere around here. And I was targeting this, and that would have been my, $360 for the day. So definitely passed my $200 minimum. And pretty much I put my stop like right about there. Yeah, basically right there. Because I thought that this low was going to be protected. I should have just put the stop loss below the gap, or below this low here inside the gap. But it's fine, dude. I'm not really pissed. But of course, that's where it stops me out. I re-enter here just after I saw that. I'm like, dude, like, it stopped me out by a tick. I know it's going to go to this high. So I basically get stopped out, re-enter here, and at this point I want to hold to this high, because if I take it off here, I just make my money back for the day, and I don't even get the $200 minimum. So I was just like, all right, I'm going to hold it or get stopped out of break even. So it ends up going up, taking out that high, and then immediately rejecting off of this 30 minute high. Like, the bodies respect it perfectly, and then we kind of end up selling off, right, back into discount of this range roughly. I believe it was discount. Not quite, but if you do look on ES right here, you can see that we actually came down and swept this gap low here at 1022 on ES, and we failed to do that on NQ. So we did have that bullish SMT there. That's what I was looking for. And then at this point, this was my third entry that I wanted to get in for. And as you can see, we actually did come down and tap equilibrium, right? And then also, of course, we still have the SMT. So now at this point, we did, of course, get another, or sorry, it was a 2 minute gap, my bad. We got a 2 minute gap, and we end up getting a nice little retrace off of that, and any second now. Come on, where'd you close? Okay, this is where I was a little confused. We never got a closure. It closed basically on it. Next candle opens, prints a high, and I wait for a small pullback. I believe I got in at about like 22,002, somewhere around there, and had my target here. And after seeing this displacing candle, I moved my stop loss to break even, and basically what happened, then we got to break above this high, and then I moved my stop to break even, because I knew that ES had already took all the prominent levels of liquidity, and it made sense for us to potentially sell off, and I didn't want to put all that risk back on the table. So, and I'm glad I did, and I moved my stop, and then boom, I get stopped out at break even, and yeah, it pretty much rebalances here, right? Sweeps out the this low here at 1054, never does on ES, another bullish SMT, and then of course we now create another 5 minute gap right here. Boom. I waited for that to close roughly at 11:35. So at 11:40 is where I got my entry. Yep, 11:40 right there. Boom. Taps me in. Basically just a 5 minute tap. Nothing super complicated at all. And yeah, that delivers us straight towards this NWAG up here, which is where I partialed 5 out of my 6 contracts. And right there. And then I wanted to target the London highs, but obviously at this point, 1212 ES was already swept out London highs and basically took out the Asia highs like 2 minutes after this. So obviously you can see, we get close, right? Whatever, and then I move my stop a little below this 5-minute gap here, just in case we wanted to rebalance and then shoot up and take it. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. If I just go ahead and play this out, you'll notice that we kind of just sell back off, rebalance there, sell off, rebalance, right? Another sweep of liquidity, and then now we're just chopping, right? So that was really all I got today. Kind of unfortunate for the top steps this morning, but that's why it's very important to manage risk, manage your emotions, and just follow your rules, right? I could have done a bit better, instead of just re-entering. Although I got stopped out at break even, that was still, not the best play mentally on my part, but, we've gotten really good at managing risk over time and learned a lot from all the mistakes that I've made in the past, and you guys obviously will learn the same things as well. Just failing a lot and learning from it. So I'll leave you boys with that. I doubt I'm going to trade tomorrow. I know I always say I'm not going to trade tomorrow, and I always end up doing so, but we'll see how it plays out. I'm leaning more towards not trading tomorrow, but we'll see. Alright, make sure to go and leave a like on the video, guys. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Tons of cool stuff coming on this channel. Daily recaps and a lot of educational content coming very, very soon. So, yeah, I'll leave you boys with that, and I'll catch you next week. Peace.